name's Kane Fisher. I'm the owner of Natty Greene's Brewing Company. We're here to look at the brewing process at our production facility right here in Greensboro, North Carolina. So once the raw material comes in, it is then transferred into this room where it moves to the mash mixer, and then up the platform, the liquid from the mash mixer is transferred over to the lauter tun. And in this vessel, what happens is the liquid is being separated from the grain. The liquid is then transferred over to the kettle where it gets a 90-minute boil before being transferred over to the cellar. Well, UNCG's been big to us. Obviously, we went to school there, and most of our friends that went there have been around for this journey since we opened in '96. Right there in the heart of UNCG, they have really spawned this growth. From an idea in a dorm room, talking about, wow, we'd like to do a bar one day, and to actually come up with a concept and then turn it into a brand. Without the support of the community and without the support of our friends and without the connection that we have to UNCG, I really don't know if we would be where we are today without that. When we were sitting here trying to figure out, what are we going to name this place? We knew what we wanted to do. We knew what the concept was going to be. We had the food aspect and the beer aspect covered. But what we really wanted to do is we wanted to have the community connection covered. We thought long and hard about, all right, what are we going to name this place? What we wanted to do was come up with something that the city could rally behind. Fortunately for us, most everybody knows who Natty Greene's is, and most everybody knows that Greensboro is named after it. That was our attachment from a name sake to the community. The community knew who we were. They didn't know what we were going to do, but they knew who we were, and there was a lot of excitement. So when the doors opened in August of 2004, we honestly didn't really know what to expect, to be straight up. We thought, okay, if we do 200 people today, that's a win. And we ended up doing over 1,000 people. We started in a time when it was called microbeer. It wasn't even really called craft beer. So our timing was unique. Now the industry's exploded to the tune that everybody's trying to push the envelope. So what I think is unique about us is we've never wavered. We have stayed true to what we started out with, and those are classic American style ales. We're now standing in our cellar. So this room is actually the second phase of the brewing cycle. So once the liquid in the brew house, it's actually called wort, is done, it's transferred over into this area where it's put into these fermentation tanks where yeast is waiting. It's about a 3 to 5 day process where the carbohydrates from the wort interact with the yeast and it turns into beer. It all happens here in our cellar. Craft beer from yesterday to today equals local. And more and more breweries that are opening up have really localized, even hyper-localized it, right down to the city. And when we started out, everything for us was local. As we've expanded, we've always said that, taste the South and North Carolina crafted and local. To us, that means our state, but it also means come and check out our locale. So this is an ever-changing industry. In 2004 when we set out, there was very few breweries. Today there's over 200, and so the demand has changed, the styles have changed, the attachment has changed. It used to be an attachment through a bottle of beer, through a draft. Well, now it's through the experience, it's through the place, it's through the brewery, and what does it have to offer? And so we're in the process of transitioning to Revolution Mill here in Greensboro, and what it's going to do is it's going to afford us the ability, the capability to not only expand on our styles and on the beer side of things, but it's also going to be able to give us a platform to give to everybody everything we've got, meaning not only the beer and the food, but just the full experience and get a full understanding of Natty Greens. So a lot of people talk about the art of brewing beer when in actuality, it's an exact science. So every time we brew, we pull off samples to send through our lab to make sure we're putting out healthy beer. We're now on to the third phase of the brewing cycle. After the liquid is fermented, it's moved here to where it's filtered or unfiltered, moved into the bright beer tanks where it gets its final lab analysis, its carbonation levels, and it's moved over to our packaging area where it's put into kegs or bottles. The last phase of the brewing process is selling it to you. So from the brew house to the package line to you. Cheers.